I don't know everything. A lot of what I'm about to say is probably wrong because I'm trying to predict the future, but a lot of these predictions are probably pretty well informed by past patches, and so I trust myself pretty well to be able to at least say a few things. Oh, I see. Okay, that's what we're talking about. That's really funny. Okay. Okay, ballpoint. This is a very controversial weapon in the meta right now. A lot of people think that the ballpoint is straight up overpowered. Back in Genesis, which was still on the same patch that we're playing right now, people were running double or even triple ballpoint in tournament matches and succeeding with it.
Wow.
But so here's the thing about ballpoint that's utterly absurd. The ballpoint starts off with short range. You can see initially I'm shooting at short range and then it goes to long range, which is weird if you're trying to hit long range and also if you're trying to hit short range. Like if you're trying to pick one or the other, that's kind of awkward. And people thought that about it at first. But the thing is, you can manipulate your charge such that you stay on the long range shots. So now that I'm in long range, all I have to do is kind of keep charging and uncharging and stay in this mode. And I'm shooting as far as the Hydra Splatling does. And I can just kind of stay like this and be a turret. Then what that also lets me do, because the short shots do have their advantages, they're easier to hit someone at short range with because the aiming reticle is a little bit less weird. It's targeted at someone who's nearby rather than having to, like, suddenly shift your aim. You see how it ran straight up as soon as I changed aim modes. So they're both useful in their own right, but the ability to do this, I think, is kind of nuts. Because this weapon is way more mobile than the Hydra Splatling is. You go to the Hydra Splatling, and you first of all, that's a really slow charge time, but look at how slowly I'm walking with this thing. It's just not got a lot of mobility. So the ability to get the same firepower as this behemoth with something that moves at the speed of a normal charger is kind of insane. And it's made it so that ballpoint is a fixture of the meta. So let's see what they've done to the ballpoint. Reduced the velocity of ink over long distances by 4% and reduced the range. Wow, that's pretty big because... So one of the reasons the Nautilus is super strong right now is the shot velocity. The time between when you release a shot and when the shot actually gets to its target is really important for aim, because with the higher shot velocity, you know you're going to hit where you're aiming. Ballpoint has lower shot velocity, reduced range at the long range, and reduced movement speed by 10% when charging and firing from a close range. They nerfed everything that is good about that weapon. That's really interesting. So they buffed the chargers, they've nerfed the ballpoints. One of the things you have to consider when talking about the changes to the weapons is how does this impact the role that you would play those weapons in. For example, if you nerf all of the long-range weapons to the ground, now the backliner is more likely to pick up something like a Nautilus, or maybe a jet or an Explosher. And those are the weapons you're going to start to... And those are the weapons, or Debbie's just going to keep playing Hydra. But those are the weapons that you're going to see played on backlines more often, and that's going to change the way team comps work. That change, I think, is significant enough that I think it's going to change the way backline works. Bubble Blower. This, I think, besides maybe like the backline changes, is what I think is going to have the biggest impact on the metagame going forward. Because Bubble Blower is massive right now. And I mean that actually more literally than I meant at first. So when I use Bubble Blower, they normally will look like this. That is because I'm not running any special power-up. But let me run out of here really quick and show the difference if I run special power-up. I've got special power-up now. Look at how much bigger those are. Those protect you from so much further away, and the explosion is bigger too. So these things are so difficult to escape as soon as anybody pops them, and with Object Shredder, they're very easy to pop. Okay, let's see how this feels. Oh my god, that takes ages. I don't like that. Oh no. Yeah, the immediate pop for the baller there's just a huge delay between when you start ballering and when you can explode it. Let's see if there's a longer delay now that I've waited. Okay, it works the same way. It's just as soon as you pop it is when you're prevented from using it as early. I'm gonna try it with Luna.
Try it with the Explo, but I'll put it on the Explo.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely way faster on the baller movement here. That's a pretty significant buff for the Luna Blaster. I'm terrified of Cookie's Luna right now.
I was gonna say Cookie's gonna go nuts. So quickly.
So let's see how this feels. Yeah, this is noticeably slower than... Now the way that this is supposed to work, as I understand it, is that the bubbles increase in size as time goes on. So the first one is smallest, the second is slightly larger, and the third one will be the same size as before. So they've nerfed the size on the first two, but they increase. So there's the first one, there's the second one, there's the third one. Let's take off the special power-up and see if that changes things. Yeah, I think with less special power-up, I notice it a lot more. Because this bubble is smaller than bubbles have ever been. So, I think this is a decent nerf. We will issue future updates after looking carefully at changes resulting from this update, as well as the overall state of statistical data over the long term. So they're going to take what happened last patch and compare it to this patch. I imagine, if they're being scientific about this, that means that we're going to get another patch equidistant from when the last one was, which means quite a bit into the future. That way they'll have the same amount of time to see the metagame develop, and they'll be able to compare it better. Let's see, when was patch 5.1? I'm going to look that up really quick. 5.1.0 came out in early January, I remember that now. So that was 4 months. 4 months and a couple weeks. So the next, if I'm right about this, then we expect the next one to drop in about August. That is about when we'll be able to start coming out of our caves. So maybe that'll be something that pulls us back into our caves. Extended the time limit to play your next game after you repeatedly disconnect within a short period of time. So those of you who haven't bought LAN adapters yet, we're shaking our fingers at you.
I got into the lobby.
Video games? Video games? Connecting to the internet? Video games! Let us play.